The Black Dahlia, easy-to-read version. The scream that has been heard for 79 years. This story is based on true events. It contains scenes of violence that may be disturbing to some readers. Please use your discretion. This is not just a story, but the most terrifying and unsolved chapter in American crime history. Tonight, if you are alone, do not read this story. Because when you read it, you will not be alone anymore. She will be with you too. The girl whose face was sliced ear to ear. The girl whose body was found in 2 pieces. The girl whose name was Elizabeth Short. And the killer? He is still out there somewhere. Around you, in the dark, watching you. This is not just a story. This is a truth that has haunted the world for 79 years. This is a mystery that challenged the most skilled detectives. The FBI has over 3,000 files on this case, and even today, new evidence is coming to light. So, are you ready? Are you ready to peer into the darkness? If yes, then let's go to the morning of January 15th, 1947. January 15th, 1947, that morning. 10:05 a.m., Leimert Park, Los Angeles. A woman was walking in the Leimert Park area of Los Angeles. Her name was Betty Bersinger, around 30 years old. She was a simple housewife, out for her morning walk with her 3-year-old daughter, just like every other day. The weather was clear. That famous Southern California sun was shining bright. Birds were chirping. It was a morning just like any other. Everything was normal, until Betty's eyes fell on that deserted lot. Something was lying in the grass there, very white, so white it gleamed in the sun like a marble statue. She squinted to look. It was something different, something that shouldn't be there. Leimert Park was a quiet area in those days. People didn't dump trash there. "Mommy, what's that?" her daughter pointed. Betty shielded her eyes. The sun was bright. She thought, maybe a store mannequin had fallen there. People do that. Maybe someone had thrown out an old dummy. No big deal. But still, why would it be there? Who threw it? And why is it so white? She went closer. 2 more steps. 5 more steps. Now she was only 10 feet away. And then the world stopped. The scene. It wasn't a mannequin. It was a human, a woman, naked, young, white, so white. Like she was made of wax, or like all the blood had been drained from her body. And she was in 2 pieces, cut cleanly in half at the waist, 2 parts, one here, one a little further away, as if a giant knife had passed through in one stroke, a perfectly straight cut, the kind not a butcher, but a surgeon could make. Betty's breath caught. Her heart pounded. She looked further at the woman's face. Oh my God. Her mouth, the corners of her mouth were cut all the way to her ears. Deep slashes, straight, clean, like a surgeon cutting with a scalpel. She was smiling, a terrible smile, a smile that had frozen on her face even after death. In criminology, this is called a Glasgow smile, the cut gangsters used to make on their enemies' faces. But this was far more precise and horrifying. Betty's feet were rooted to the spot. She couldn't move. Her eyes couldn't look away from that face. She could see the body had been deliberately posed, arms above the head, elbows bent, legs spread out, like someone posing for a picture. Betty's scream. No sound came from Betty's mouth. Her daughter squeezed her hand tightly. "Mommy, is that Auntie sleeping?" Betty covered the child's eyes. It was too late. The child had already seen. Betty ran. Without looking back, she just ran. Her heels hurt. She was out of breath, but she couldn't stop. She was running away from death, but death was with her. She pounded on the door of a nearby house. The door opened. A woman saw. Betty's face was white. Her eyes were wide. She was trembling. Her lips had turned blue. "Phone. Please, need a phone," she dialed. Her fingers were shaking. She misdialed 3 times. "Please, come quickly. Here, on South Norton Avenue. There's a body. A woman. She's in 2 pieces." The operator asked, "Ma'am, please calm down. Are you sure?" Betty screamed, "I swear on my daughter's life, she's in 2 pieces. And her face, God, someone cut her face into a smile. My daughter saw. My 3-year-old daughter saw. Please, come fast." The impact of that scene. That scene was forever etched into Betty's mind. Every night when she closed her eyes, that face would appear. That smile, that slashed mouth, that white body. Her daughter never forgot either. She grew up, got married, had children, but every time she was in the dark, that face would appear. She saw a psychiatrist until she was 55. Betty later said, "What I saw that day wounded my soul forever. I can never forget that smile that was on her face even after death." The investigation begins. Police arrive. The first officer to see the scene was 20 years old, fresh out of the academy. He had never seen a dead body, only pictures at the academy. He got there, saw that thing in the grass, and his knees gave way. He turned, walked 2 steps, and sat under a tree. He lit a cigarette, but his hands were shaking so badly he dropped it. He quit his job that day. The next week, he never came back. Later, in an interview, he said, "I saw that face, and I realized there are some things in this world I'm not made to confront." The second officer to arrive was a 15-year veteran. He had seen combat in World War II. He'd seen soldiers dying on the beaches of Normandy. He'd seen pictures from concentration camps. He saw this body, and he vomited. He stepped back. His hands were shaking. He said on the radio, "I need more units, and a photographer, and the coroner, now." Then he said softly, This wasn't done by a human." The condition of the body. The body wasn't just dead, it was broken, cut, cleaned, posed. Arms above the head, elbows bent at right angles, legs spread out, slightly open, like someone posing for a picture. But she was dead. Police cordoned the area. Photographers came. Pictures were taken. From every angle, every detail was captured. Looking at those pictures later, many officers needed psychological help. And on her face was that smile. It's called a Glasgow smile. The cut they make for clowns, or that gangsters used to give their enemies. But this wasn't a clown. This was the devil. The forensic report. Doctors arrived. The forensic team arrived. They lifted the body. Then they discovered there wasn't a single drop of blood in the body, completely drained, as if someone had emptied it entirely. The stomach was cut open. It contained feces. She had been forced to eat her own feces before dying. This was a form of torture, of humiliation. Pieces of flesh had been cut from her thighs and breasts, cleanly cut, like a butcher cutting meat, but this meat was from a woman.
Her intestines had been removed and neatly placed under her buttocks. This wasn't madness, this was a pattern, a design. The doctor said, "The spine is severed between the second and third vertebrae, a perfectly clean cut. This wasn't done with an ordinary knife. This is surgery, done by someone who knows anatomy." The most horrifying revelation. And then he said the words that made everyone's hair stand on end. "There are no signs of bruising around the edges of the cuts, no swelling, no bleeding. That means this wasn't done after death. This was done while she was alive, when her heart was still beating, when blood was still flowing." Silence filled the room. She was cut alive.